Why, hello there. A Nice Dale here. Today I'm bringing you a summary of a knife I've done a review on, and the full review will be linked in the description here. And I hope you're having a good day, and I hope you enjoy seeing this video and this very strange knife. This is the Spyderco Subvert. This is a Spyderco knife in collaboration with a Black Snow Customs, who does the actual custom version of this, the Sabotage. They're extremely expensive. And they're very unique. I mean, you can kind of tell why, right? So, just to recap, you got over 4 inches of blade, 4 1/8, and 9 1/4 overall. This is a large knife. This is a considerably large knife. In fact, this is pushing into the territory of extra large knife, especially considering how thick it is. I mean, she thick. Alright? It's kind of big in every way, even though it is slim in, I guess, profile-ish, let's call it. This knife is in CPM S30V with Spyderco's logo there, Black Snow Custom logo there. This is made in Taichung, Taiwan plant. It is titanium liners, G10 scales, with a very, very attractive in-person satin going down the blade. It is a drop point, recurve, big-bellied, what would you call that? It's almost like a machete or a kukri blade shape. I mean, tip axis is non-existent. It's all belly, but it's very unique, very dramatic. The plunge grind is good. It is on bearings, and it works quite well. The opening hole is quite sharp, so it eats up your nail just a tad bit. The access could be a little bit better, let's be honest. The Sabotage custom versions are typically flippers or have thumb studs, so it doesn't maybe necessarily lend itself to the opening hole quite as much as some things, but it is what it is. It works. It is very thick. The blade is very thick. Just take that into consideration. It's thick-ish behind the edge. I mean, it's pretty reasonable for the most part for what you're looking at here. I mean, this thing is extremely thick all around. But for such a large, sort of almost heavy-duty sort of knife, it'll be fine for a while. Yeah. It is, I guess, liner lock in this case. And true to the custom, the frame pokes out in a few areas. That seems to be something that Black Snow Customs likes to do, not have the scales cover the entirety of the frame. And you'd think it would be a problem, or maybe you could get some uncomfortableness in those areas. Really, you don't. Like, this, it just works. It does in your hand. It's not a problem. In fact, if anything, it kind of offers a little bit of a secondary grip position on this one because it's knocked down and you can sort of pull into that a little bit. And the top is so thick that it's, well, it just offers a better grip. The frame is knocked down really nicely. There is a tiny bit of lock. It's hard to call it. I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's stick. It's a little bit of friction that sort of pops it off there. That seems to be a very common thing coming out of the Taichung, Taiwan plants for Spyderco. I don't know why. Maybe if I rub it off a little bit. Yeah, nah, it's still there. Lanyard hole, pocket clip, as is traditional for Spyderco. It's one of their horrible, hideous clips. Though this one is better and worse in some but just before I get there. Solid backspacer, not reversible clip. Sorry, lefties. Honestly, it's a pretty cool and striking crazy knife, and it's a fun knife. It is a knife that I have carried. But there are a few downsides here. There are definitely a few downsides here. First of all, there's not a whole lot of weight reduction in there. I mean, there are holes, but they're pretty small. So it is heavy. I mean, it's going to be heavy just on this freaking ridiculous blade stock. Let's just check the blade stock, because the blade stock is crazy. 160 thousandths with a thickness in total of 7, almost 3/4 of an inch. 3/4 of an inch thick. Yeah. I mean, yes, it's contoured and all, but whoa, yeah, it's pretty thick. It might even be thicker back here than that. It's not really for everyone. let's be honest. There is a choke up position that does allow you to actually get pretty close behind the edge and feel comfortable. As I said, the plunge grind is also really quite good, as Spyderco usually does a pretty decent job of that. And this sort of half choil was actually pretty comfortable in this one. The half choil works when it's a big enough knife. It does. And this certainly is. Back here, okay. There's your grip positions, basically. You have definitely some room to move around, and you're going to want to move around because this clip does not belong on this knife. It is very noticeable. And it's not like it's a full-on hot spot. Like, I'm not hurting myself or anything like that. But it's just, no matter where I go, it just doesn't feel right to the hand. Unless I go, like, way back here. And get almost completely off of it. I think it's a mixture of, because this thing is so thick, and they didn't really put very good chamfers on the edge here. They're very sort of, well, Spyderco does that, right? Their regular G10 stuff, Power 2 here, their chamfers are very abrupt. And they carried that around to this thing. And with something this thick, coupled with this very noticeable clip, you always just feel like you're feeling it. Which is really unfortunate. This is definitely a knife that's a candidate for getting a replacement clip. Adam Purvis, who has a line of knives and does replacement clips, I think he does one for this one, and I'd be surprised if there are others aren't. I make sick shit on Instagram. Yeah, those guys probably could reclip this thing for something that is just fundamentally better. I mean, the one good thing is Spyderco didn't put a flat at the end of this clip for some reason, even though they do that on like all of their others. But it is this particular one has a shit ton of retention. It does. It is stiff. I mean, it does flex, but it is stiff. It does work in and out of the pocket, but it is tight. And it doesn't work with this thickness. It emphasizes all the problems with this clip. At least in my experience, in my hand. I can't say for everybody, but I mean, unless you're really just lightly carrying this thing, even then you're kind of feeling it. It's a downside. It is. And T6 screws on the clip. And T6 screws holding the handle scales on T8 there. It's Taiwan. I wouldn't be surprised if there are T6 under here. So there are definite downsides here. I will say that there is another variant of this knife. There are only two, and if you don't like the orange, the other variant is carbon fiber and 20 CV, and it's not that much more expensive than this version. I got this version when it first came out, and then that version came out, and I'm like, oh, wow, really? This version is over $300, and that version is like $400, and it's like, oh, okay. Not a huge difference for a decent upgrade. Stop pins, oh, I didn't mention those, are, what's the term? Not garage, but my brain's not working today. I apologize. My brain doesn't work a lot. I've noticed that. I'm starting to wonder if there is actually a brain in there. I mean, I would assume so. My bodily functions do seem to work in some level correctly, though I can't breathe for shit, so maybe it's just sort of all flailing to come together into something because there's a key component missing, but that's entirely a different story here. It is an internal static stop pin. Okay. So, while I really like the design over here, I think there are a few aspects of the execution that just don't quite work. Which is kind of what stopped me from getting the other version, honestly. Yet, despite that, I still love it. I do. I really do. It's a fun, crazy, cool knife. I'm definitely going to eventually get a replacement clip. See if that helps. It probably will. Yeah, just hold it a little further back than you might think you want to, and you're a little bit more comfortable. But as soon as you go up here, you just sort of feeling awkward. Yeah. So that's just a little quick recap of what this whole thing is. Oh, it's of course not deep carry, and you have a ton of room to grab onto this thing. I saw someone recently mention it, and I asked for feedback all the time, so someone finally gave it. They said, how does it sit in the pocket? And the purchase that you make get on it. Your purchase is like, I mean, you have a ton of purchase. It's huge. It's that kind of clip. But it doesn't sit too deep in the pocket, honestly. It's borderline shallow carry for such a big thing. And it's going to be noticeable in that pocket. But this is sort of the design before all, right? So it's either for you or it's not. And that's where I'm going to end things here. I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Consider liking and subscribing. I really need to say that earlier than the final words, but okay. See you guys. One quick addendum. Yeah, I took the clip off. It's totally the clip. 100% the clip. It, even though this could still be chamfered a little bit softer, like, yeah, it's all clip that's really the problem here. That really makes it feel unpleasant, like I said. So, just wanted to add that in. See you once again.